Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. I'm back home finally, as you can see in the studio. I got my microphone, and I was on the East Coast for 2 weeks visiting my wife's family at their lake house, which was really fun, but I'm glad to be home. And while I've been gone and traveling, getting back to San Francisco, I have missed out on making a few videos because there has been some news lately with the Miami Heat. And yesterday, the Miami Heat re signed Dru Smith to a 3-year contract. And there was a lot of mixed reactions and emotions on Twitter. A lot of people were pissed and upset that we signed Dru Smith to a contract. This was day after the Miami Heat traded Haywood Highsmith and attached a second round pick to get off that contract. Got no players in return. We did that to get under the luxury tax so we don't have to deal with the repeater tax. And we have 13 players on our roster. A lot of folks thought that we were going to use the 13th spot for Kai Jones and then hold that 15th roster spot for Dru Smith potentially because he's not eligible to be on a two-way contract as he's been in the league for over 4 years. So we had a two-way contract still available, or we do still have one. And we assumed that once he's gotten through rehab, that we would hold that roster spot for someone like Dru Smith or for a potential buyout candidate later in the year. But they gave him a 3-year deal, only $7.9 million. So it's under $3 million per year. It is guaranteed. And he's back with this team. Coach Eric Spoelstra absolutely loves Dru Smith. He's a great guy. Actually, we had him on our podcast last year, and we talked to him about rehabbing for his ACL injury back in 2023. And we were talking to him while he was recovering, and it was before last season. And super good dude and very humble, hardworking guy. And he talked about what he wanted to improve on while he was rehabbing. And he was talking about defense because that's going to be his calling card. And any opportunity he was going to get in terms of playing in the rotation would have been because of his defense, because of his motor, because of his point of attack defense. And he said he wanted to work on defense and three-point shooting. Like, obviously, dribbling, playmaking, setting up his teammates is important, but ultimately, he wanted to improve his three-point shooting and play tough defense and just make winning plays, which is what he did last season after coming back from that ACL injury, which was a fluke injury. And last season with the Miami Heat, he was 27. He's going to be 28, so he's an older player. He was 25 years old when he got his first opportunity in the NBA. But last season, he played 14 games before the injury. He was playing 19 minutes per game. So solid opportunity off the bench for an undrafted player. Averaged only 6.2 points, 1.6 assists, 2.6 rebounds, but he did average 1.5 steals. And the big thing, though, was he was shooting 53% from three before the injury. I know that number was not sustainable, but for someone who was shooting basically sub 30% his first season and was shooting at best 30% with the Brooklyn Nets when he played there for 10 games on a two-way contract, he did start shooting better in 2003. Like, you saw that, like, he was focusing on developing that three-point stroke. Only played 9 games with the Heat before he got that ACL injury back in 2023, but he was shooting 41% from three. And then the fact that he was shooting in 14 games this past season 53% from three shows that he was becoming a capable three-point shooter and was not going to be a liability when offenses obviously were not going to be focusing on guarding him and essentially probably daring him to shoot until he showed his cards that he could actually make those where they would actually get to close out. Otherwise, they were going to focus on Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, whoever else was on the court. Jimmy Butler, technically, last year. He got to play with Jimmy Butler last year. So he has drastically improved on that end, which was huge. So I think Spo just has faith in him. He trusts him. He thinks that he's going to be a good 3-and-D type of player. And I'm okay with the deal because it's such a small contract where he's only making like 2.5 million per year. But I just don't know if this is going to make the most sense in terms of the lineups that we're going to be running, because after signing Norman Powell, the assumption is you play your best 5 players. Norman Powell is going to start with Tyler Hero. We gave Davion Mitchell 2 years for like 25 million or whatever it is, making 12 million. He is a better vision. Davion is a better version of Dru Smith. He's a little bit smaller, but he's younger. He's quicker. He's better offensively. I think he's better defensively. And it is a little redundant. And I'm not sure when Dru Smith will be ready, but he's coming off 2 major injuries, an ACL and an Achilles. That's no joke. And so are we going to actually start Norman Powell? Like, does it make sense to have Dru and Davion come off the bench? I'm assuming now Terry is most likely not going to play a lot. They still have to play him a little bit, making 25 million per year. They want to also maybe give Terry Rozier a small shot to up his value if he can even do that, even though he looks like he doesn't know how to play basketball anymore. But can he increase his value as an expiring contract, someone that we could trade before the trade deadline? If we don't trade Terry before the trade deadline, then we just let his contract expire. But we have a logjam now. Like, we have a lot. Like, if we look at the roster, I mean, we have Tyler, Davion, Terry, Pella Larson is technically a guard. We have Dru Smith now, Norman Powell, if I didn't mention him. So we do have a lot of guards. We don't have a lot of front court help. So I'm a little surprised that we didn't sign Kai Jones or add a backup big. I mean, right now we have Kalel, Bam, and Jovic. That's pretty much it in terms of size. And Jovic is not a backup 5. So a little surprised, but also not, fully surprised again, because Spo loves Dru Smith. He trusts him. He believes him. So he must be ahead of schedule with this injury because the medical staff must have saw that he's okay, because he's coming off 2 of these like soft tissue injuries. And he's older. He's 28. He's not young. He's no spring chicken, but still, he must be healthy enough. He must be showing good signs in the rehab process where they're willing to give him a roster spot. It's not about the contract. It's about giving him a roster spot over a big. And if we do sign some veteran big, we're most likely going to be over the luxury tax again. Like, we're not going to be a first apron team. So we'll see what happens. We could possibly trade Terry and get someone else for a smaller contract back. And then we could then add a buyout candidate like a big, or get a big in return for Terry Rozier somehow and be fine. But either way, I'm okay with it. Dru Smith is back. And yeah, good for him. He's a good dude. And yeah, congratulations.